Hey there, my name's David. On this episode, I want to talk to you about how to endure the nightmare that is online dating or just dating in general. So the solution comes in a couple parts, at least I believe. One, it's not getting a sweet cat like this, she does help. First thing you want to do is work on yourself, get yourself to be as best as possible. We're all looking for someone and we're all looking for what the best partner we can get. So the better you can make yourself, the more improvement you can do on yourself, the better odds you have of meeting someone, that matches and is a good match for you. So, whether that's your body, your finances, your looks, like how you dress, your mind, your intelligence, or maybe you're just like have a bad, boring personality, you can work on that. Like there's everything you can work on. You can make more money, get a better job, go to the gym, all these kind of things. You can dress better, all this kind of stuff. So that's the first thing you want to do. That's pretty obvious, but it does make a big difference. Taking good pictures is a good thing to have too. You want to get friends to take pictures so it looks like you have friends and not a bunch of selfies in your house. But the main thing I want to talk to you about is something I've done recently. So I've created a Excel spreadsheet, and I just have a theory that if I have a real true connection with someone, and that's just a matter of matching on Tinder or Bumble or whatever it is, and just chit-chatting for a couple hours, if you do this 100 times, you have to meet someone that is a real match. Now, the first thing to do is not just swipe right on everyone, yes, 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 and then kind of look through. That's not going to get you anywhere. First thing you have to do is be really specific with what you're looking for in a partner, and be very strategic on who you swipe. At least this is my strategy. You can do what you want, but I swipe right on very few people because I know exactly who I'm looking for. So if it's someone who's pretty, but she has a bunch of clubbing photos, I don't have anything to do with that in my life. Now, if someone has a bunch of summit photos, then I'm going to swipe right, because I'm looking for someone who wants to hike mountains with me, not go to the club. Now, it's good to be well-rounded and have, if there's one photo like that and there's an outdoor photo and that kind of thing, that's good. But be very specific with what you're looking for. When you get matches, there'll be actual matches that will match with your life. So now once you start getting these matches and you start having these true connections where you're spending multiple hours chatting with the person, whether it's on the phone or text message, if you spend a couple of hours, I think you can put them on the list. And what I have is an Excel spreadsheet, which is that's all it is, just names with the number next to it. And anytime there's someone I spend at least a couple of hours chatting to, I put that name on the list. And I just recently started doing this. I had to go back and really think about this because I've been, trying to date unsuccessfully, successfully, but for the last 3 years. So in those 3 years, I've actually sent a lot of photos to some friends like, hey, what do you think of this girl or whatever? So I actually have a lot of these people in photos if you just look in the photos of like Facebook Messenger. So it actually made it pretty easy. And I can remember a bunch of them or whatever, but there's quite a few. So I've gone through and I made this list for myself, and my list is sitting around about 48, and that's over 3 years. And that's just people I've talked to for a few hours or people I've dated for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 months being the most. So now I've got this list and I'm at 48 and I'm like, okay, well, at this rate, in 3 years, I should meet someone because I'll be at 100. Out of 100, I should find someone. Now that won't necessarily work, but this mindset just makes it easier for me where it's like, oh, I'm never gonna find someone to, oh, I have to get to 100 before I'm allowed to complain. That's basically what I've said to myself. And out of 100, there's gotta be one that matches with me well. Now, if you get to 100 and you still don't have a match, you can question yourself and see like, okay, is there something truly wrong with myself? And that's a good thing to ask, but it's better to ask that before you start doing all this, save yourself that pain. But you might just get to a situation like where myself, I live in the capital of Canada of fishing, but I'm a vegan. So it's really not the best place for me to live, but it's a long story why I live here. I may have to pack up my life and move somewhere where my tribe is, people are health conscious, vegans, or, environmental kind of people or whatever. Like I don't just look for vegans. If I did that, I would find almost no one. I think I've been on like 4 dates with vegans. So 4 out of that 48. So yeah, then I might have to move to Victoria or Portland or something like that. But that's more of like I'll keep that down the road if I absolutely have to do that. But I think out of 100 people, I'm bound to find someone, and the same can go for you. And if you do that, it changes your mindset where you're going through one by one, and if they don't work out, you put them on the list. And then at least you're building towards something. It does something mentally where it just makes it a lot more digestible and easier on the brain, and it doesn't feel like you're losing, you're actually winning. You're like, okay, well, that person was great, but for whatever reason didn't work out. Like A few days ago for myself, I started talking to this really nice girl, and everything matched up, except then I found out she smokes a lot of weed. She's, in her words, a pothead. And that doesn't work for me. I don't have anything to do with that. I get bad headaches around pot. And so, if that one thing didn't exist, that could have been something really awesome. But because it did, it didn't work. And that's just how it goes. So now I get to try to find someone else who's got maybe a lot of those similar qualities, but is not a pothead. Or, there's many different examples. But if you're struggling like I am, maybe try this out for yourself, because it's really done wonders for my mindset in terms of dating, because dating is really horrible. It just really is. So if you found these tips useful, be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you did. I greatly appreciate it, because it kind of works out. If I get 10% of the people hitting the thumbs up button, it will get shared out. The video will get shared out to more people. And if people don't hit the thumbs up button, then the video goes nowhere and it just dies. So hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and until next episode, have a good one.